Good evening, folks. I've got discussion C for you. We're discussing aging and anxiety. Now, here's your question that I want to see if people want to answer. Do anxiety disorders intensify as we grow older? And the piece that I'm going to share with you is by Dwayne Beckett. Okay, so here we go. Give me a minute to check something and I'll be right with you. Okay, here we go. Here's a summary of the main points from the article. Aging and anxiety. Do anxiety disorders intensify as we age or as we grow older? And like I said, it's by Dwayne Beckett. Okay, here we go. Key insights on aging and anxiety. Personal experience. The author shares his journey with anxiety disorders, which began in his mid-20s and evolved into panic and generalized anxiety disorders. Over time, he found that aging brought a surprising sense of relief, with triggers becoming less intense and anxiety more manageable. Okay, role of routine and supports. Role of routine and support. Okay, that's the next page, guys. Establishing routines and having a support system helped reduce the impact of anxiety in inducing situations. Aging versus acceptance. The author questions whether the improvement is due to aging itself or simply becoming more comfortable with his identity and challenges. Scientific perspective. Contrary to common belief, research indicates that anxiety disorders often do not intensify with age. In fact, they may lessen over time. Variability among individuals. While some older adults experience relief, others continue to suffer from persistent anxiety, highlighting the need for personalized approaches. Would you like to explore how these findings intersect with frailty-aware care models or memory-friendly environments? I think there's a rich opportunity to connect this with your work on aging resilience and therapeutic design. Several studies and reviews support the claim that Anxiety may lessen with age. Here are some of the most compelling findings. Key findings. Prevalence rates prevalence rates of anxiety disorders tend to decrease as people age. Interpretation. Mental health may improve later in life, though about 10% of adults over 60 still experience anxiety disorders. 2. Post neuroscience study on emotional processing. Study. Brain imaging research published in Neuroimage. Findings. Older adults process negative emotions more automatically and efficiently, which may reduce susceptibility to anxiety. Hypothesis tested. Just 1 second, guys. Paper stuck. I have to play with it. Okay, cognitive control hypothesis. Older adults regulate emotions better. Dynamic integration theory. Cognitive decline shifts focus toward positive stimuli. Explore the study summary. APA PsychNet Handbook of Mental Health and Aging. Finding. Lifetime prevalence of anxiety disorders is higher in younger age groups. Note, while anxiety persists in older adults, especially in forms like social anxiety and GAD, it tends to be less prevalent overall. View Chapter 1, Pylos 1, Systematic Review of Reviews. Okay. Synthesize 27 studies on anxiety in older adults. Finding. Good physical health and balance, confidence were protective factors against anxiety. The review emphasizes that anxiety is multifunctional, not necessarily age intensified. Access to full review. Would you like to dive deeper into how these findings could inform frailty-aware mental health screening or therapeutic design in elder care environments. There's a lot of potential to translate this into actionable frameworks. Aging brings a complex mix of mental health changes, some protective, others. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll have this for you in a minute. Changing or challenging. Here's a breakdown of the most well-documented shifts, common mental health changes in older adults. Reduced anxiety in some. As discussed earlier, anxiety may lessen with age due to improved emotional regulation and shifting priorities. Older adults often focus more on positive stimuli and develop better coping skill or strategies. 2. Increased risk of depression. Depression is not a normal part of aging, but it's common due to loss of loved ones. Chronic pain or illness, reduced mobility and independence, social isolation. Depression can worsen physical health and slow recovery from illness. 3. Loneliness and social isolation. Over 40% of older adults report feeling lonely regularly. Loneliness is linked to cognitive decline, heart disease, stroke, and dementia. Living alone, retirement, and bereavement contribute to this risk. Mild cognitive impairment and dementia become more prevalent. Emotional responses may shift due to changes in the brain structure and function. Substance use and suicide risk. Substance abuse often overlooked in older adults. Suicide rates are highest among those age 6 or 85, followed by 75 to 84. Warning signs include withdrawal, hopelessness, and changes in sleep or appetite. Stigma and underdiagnosed. Mental health issues in older adults are frequently misattributed to normal aging. Many go undiagnosed or untreated due to stigma or lack of access to care. Would you like to explore how these changes could inform caregiver training or smart housing design for emotional resilience there is a lot of potential to integrate this into your work on memory friendly and frailty aware environments. This link between loneliness and cognitive decline is increasingly supported by robust research. Here's a synthesis of key findings. How loneliness contributes to cognitive decline. Loneliness as an independent risk factor. A large-scale analysis by the National Institute on Aging found that loneliness increases the risk of Alzheimer's disease by 14%, vascular dementia by 17%, general cognitive impairment by 12%. These effects persist even after controlling for depression and social isolation. 2. Hearing loss plus loneliness equals accelerated decline. A University of Geneva study involved 33,000 older adults showed that hearing loss combined with loneliness leads to faster memory decline, especially in episodic memory. Even socially connected individuals who feel lonely in the crowd are vulnerable. Brain structure and function. Harvard Health reports that lonely individuals have smaller brain volumes, poorer executive function, planning, attention, memory, a threefold increase in dementia risk among lonely adults aged 60 to 79 for cognitive stimulation defect. Okay, a systematic review in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that loneliness and social isolation are linked to poor cognition. Okay, guys. Depression may mediate loneliness related decline, while lack of stimulation mediates isolation related decline. Chronic loneliness and learning impairments. A longitudinal study in BMC Public Health revealed that chronically lonely individuals show no improvement in cognitive and performance over time, miss out on typical learning gains seen in non-lonely peers. Mechanisms behind the link. mechanisms impact on cognition, reduced social interaction, less cognitive stimulation and engagement, emotional distress, increased stress, hormones affecting memory. Hypervigilance, heightened self preservation, reduces focus. Depression mediates decline in executive functioning. Sensory barriers, hearing loss limits emotional and social cues, accelerating decline. Would you like to explore how these findings could inform design principles for memory friendly housing or interventions in adult day care programs? There's a rich opportunity to translate this into actionable strategies for aging resilience. Social engagement plays a powerful role in promoting cognitive health, especially as we age. Folks, getting out, getting out and socializing as a group helps you maintain your cognitive function. Now, if elderly people are shut in their houses or apartments with long periods of not seeing people, that contributes to decline. If they have if they have mental disorders, it makes the disorder worse. Like for instance, a person who has dementia, may start out with mild dementia with a little bit of memory loss. Then they go into second stage where socially withdraw from things. Then the aggression shows up. Like I said, but they do better in a group setting. Everybody, who has mental disorders, if they're with like-minded people in a like-minded setting, they're more apt to participate in activities tailored to their disability. Like people with mental disorders have supports out in the community, like group homes, um, a place where I hang out or used to hang out. They support the people in the community who have mental disorders. Those folks matter. They're almost like people don't think of them as people who need support too, but they do, and they become, if they're younger folks, they become older adults also, and when they age, their disorder doesn't go away, folks. It still needs support. That's my feeling on that. So let me finish this for you. Next page. Here's a synthesis of the most compelling findings from recent research. how social engagement supports cognitive health. Cognitive reserve hypothesis. Core idea. Social interaction builds cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to compensate for damaged or pathologically brain spaces. Evidence. People with strong social networks often show fewer symptoms of cognitive decline despite having similar levels of brain pathology as those with weaker networks. Source: Memory and Brain Wellness Center. 2. Stress reduction mechanism. Chronic loneliness increases stress hormones, e.g., glucocorticosteroid. Hold on, folks, I'll get in. Okay, which can damage the hippocampus, critical for memory. Impact. Social engagement buffers against this stress, protecting memory and emotional regulation. Source: Memory and Brain Wellness Center. Cardiovascular Health Link. Cardiovascular hypothesis. Social connection improves cardiovascular regulation, which in turn supports brain health and reduces risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Source: Memory and Brain Wellness Center. Impartial studies and recommendations. Studies show colossal relationship between social engagement and improved cognition though results are multifunctional. Okay, guys, so that is C for you tonight. I will be back on later tomorrow night for shows. I will see everybody then. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.